All right, what is up, guys? Today we are doing a different coffee. I don't know what different coffee we're doing. Let's see, what do we have here? We've got the breakfast blend. We're gonna do this one. I haven't opened this yet. We got a new bag. Oops, didn't put the stand out far enough, I guess. All right, so I don't know if you guys heard, but there was an attack at Twitchcon. Now, fortunately, not any kind of political attack, at least not the recording of this video. Uh, but there was a sexual assault. Apparently, isn't a new thing either. It's happened multiple times before. It just didn't get any traction, and we can talk about that later. But uh, a very popular female streamer known as Emmy. I don't know how to say the full thing. It's like em, em, I just struggle over it. Every time I say it differently. It's Emiru or Emiru. I don't know. People just call her Emmy. Uh, been a long time content creator on Twitch. Um, Basically, long story short, if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, she was doing a meet and greet, and a guy just walked up on stage and grabbed her and tried to kiss her. And then Twitch basically tried to pretend like it didn't happen. I'm going to count out the coffee, and then we're going to talk about what kind of coffee it is, and then we'll sit down and have a chat about this whole thing, because especially with the 5-hour video I made talking about my own experience with sexual assault, this is a very important topic to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted to talk about my plan for this week, but we need to talk about what happened at Twitch. So now that that's brewing, it smells kind of like Folgers, but better. I'm gonna roll this up, keep it nice and fresh. We're gonna read what we got here. Lively and crisp. This blend combines hints of sweet cocoa, crisp dried fruits, and spices. Okay, the phrasing was just weird. There's no Oxford comma, so it froze my brain for a sec. You should always use the Oxford comma. I thought the sentence was still going on. This is a lively coffee with a balanced flavor. And if you look, it's on the light side of medium there. All right, so the other thing that was on the light side of medium was Twitch's security. Now, apparently, and this is the whole reason that I've never really wanted to go to Twitch in the first place, and I didn't necessarily feel like spelling it all out because I didn't really know how many people would exactly believe me or be able to relate to it. But now we have multiple examples of why. I hate being right. I'm glad I wasn't right about the political attack. And like I said, I wasn't sure if that was 50% likelihood or not, but it was double digit percentage. Now, as far as this sexual assault, apparently multiple people were telling her not to go because they just didn't feel that it would be safe for anyone, really. And I'm really pissed that of all people, it had to be her, right? Because I've made plenty of comments about other content creators, and many of them were women who I don't feel are like either decent people, or a lot of them are just sex workers pretending to be content creators, right? Emmy is exactly the opposite. She's literally just a cute little gamer girl that does nothing but get frustrated at video games. And she's decently good at them too. One of my favorite clips of all time is this clip where I think she's streaming with Miz. I'm not sure whose channel it was on. I just saw the clip itself, and he's struggling to do this skip in a Super Mario 64 speed run, where basically you ass slide backwards up the stairs, and then it yeets you through a picture, that a painting that allows you to skip to an area that normally you need to farm a bunch of stars to enter. And he was struggling to do it over and over and over again. So he just hands her the controller. And she, first of all, he changed the controls. So it's not even the default controls. And she calls him out for that. And then she just does it on the first try instantly. And I don't know too much about all of her content. I mostly see clips. I think I do follow her on Twitch and Twitter and stuff. But mostly I see her from like other events, from collaborating with other creators. Like all the dozens of times, again, Mischief got her killed in OnlyFans. But she's one of those people that is actually just a gamer streaming gaming content, you know? And one of the least objectionable, least aggressive, one of the few people in the content creation sphere that I can actually say legitimately seems like a decent person. And of course, it had to happen to her. Now, Twitch says she was one of their, this is according to her, she's got her own video out. I suggest you watch it. I think it's on her YouTube. It came up in my algorithm of Asmongold watching her video. So just search EMIRU Twitchcon and you'll probably get the video. You should watch the original video yourself instead of just listening to me talk about it. But basically what happens is, she said they told her she was like one of their top 5. And for people that wanted to do the meet and greet, and she basically had to do the meet and greet if she was going to go. Lots of other people that were kind of told they had to do the meet and greet either didn't do the meet and greet or decided that they weren't even going to Twitch at all, and they told her not to go, but she didn't listen. I think mostly because she's just kind of innocent like that, you know? And in reality, there were warning signs. You know, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened to her. I recall another video of where she was out on a boardwalk with 2 other streamers that I'm not necessarily very fond of, Valkyrie and Cinna. I don't really know much about Cinna, to be honest, and I was kind of chill with Valkyrie for a minute until she just recently she's gone kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the baby fever getting to her head. But the big thing is they were out there on this boardwalk somewhere. I don't know where. I forgot I wanted to do that. We'll do that another time when I'm not talking about something so important. And this random creepy dude, like, comes up to her and asks for her number. Hey, Charlie. And it's really awkward. Obviously, I need you off my chair. Go sit on your chair. You have your own chair. Come on, cat. Or you can stand on the little thing. We have two things here for Charlie. We've got this little end table thing that he likes to sit on and bother me, and then he's got his chair over there that he likes to sit out there and watch the squirrels and stuff. So, but of course he'll like sit on mine to beg for attention. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so they're on this boardwalk doing like a live stream, and this creepy dude walks up and asks for her number, and she doesn't give it to him, which is the right thing to do, obviously. And the dude fucking starts following them for like the rest of the stream, and I think he even threatens them at one point. So it's not the first time she's been targeted. And apparently, this is even the first time it happened at Twitchcon. Apparently, a previous year in Twitchcon, another guy tried something like this, but her security guard stopped him and held him there until the police showed up. And the only thing Twitch did about that was tell her she wasn't allowed to bring the security guard that protected her back. They banned the security guard that actually protected her. Meanwhile, they're doing nothing to protect their own streamers. Apparently, this guy just walked in through like the back part of the meet and greet area. No one stopped him or anything. Half the people going to the meet and greet didn't even have any type of background check or anything. It was just these massive companies, in particular Twitch, don't care about you at all. Like, literally, you are nothing but meat to them. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that specifically because Emmy said she felt like she was just cattle. And that's exactly what she is. That's what we all are to them, right? And that's why I have never planned to go to TwitchCon and would never go to TwitchCon. And like, there might have been a very, very small possibility 5 years ago where I would have considered it if I could have agreed to some kind of security arrangements with them. But I doubt they would have ever agreed to those security arrangements. And it's pretty clear their security is actually incompetent. And there's okay, I'm getting frustrated and I'm just rambling. Let me refocus. So, why have I never really wanted to go to TwitchCon, and why have I been kind of hesitant to say the specific reason? It's because every time I leave the house, I carry a gun with me everywhere I go, and if I can't go somewhere with my gun, I don't go there. Because the way I look at it is, if some place prioritizes their own profit over my safety, then one, I would just be a fool to go to any type of location like that. And two, they certainly don't deserve any of my money, you know? So I'm not gonna buy. The only time I make an exception to that is generally once or twice per year when I go to a large stadium with my family for like a Penguins game or a big rock concert or something like that. But they generally have police on hand there, and everyone has to go through these metal detectors, and I still don't like it. I I really don't like it, but there's a part of my brain that is like, well, if something happens and I survive, I'll sue the fuck out of them and maybe take this to the Supreme Court if necessary. I'm not a, I would appeal it, but I'm not even above writing a writ of certiorari. You can Google that. I don't feel like explaining it. It's way too off topic. But uh, if I die, then maybe people that have been, I mean, there's not a lot of people, but maybe it would signal boost my content to the level where people actually was listening to what I'm trying to tell you guys, that you need to protect yourselves because no one else is going to protect you. And in fact, most of the rest of the world is trying to remove your ability to protect yourself so they can herd you like cattle, right? They specifically took away the best bodyguard she has, and then they refused to provide her any type of alternative security because the dude just walked up on stage and grabbed her and tried to kiss her. A lot of people are speculating that he had a knife, but it seems more likely based off what I've seen and heard that it was just a pen, but just a pen doesn't mean you can't do incredible bodily harm to someone with a pen, you know? I've seen people get into fights using pens as weapons in school and stuff. So it's one of those things where she could have lost her life or been seriously injured there. And Twitch's response initially was to do everything they could to cover it up. This isn't the first time it's happened to her. And in fact, apparently last year, it happened to two men and nothing was done about it either. This seems to be a trend at Twitch where I don't know how deep I want to go with this, but I think it's pretty clear that all of these little gooner boys that are walking around saying respect women and calling themselves feminists don't actually respect women. You have like Dan Clancy and you have Destiny, who are like super leftist and super feminist, but yet they're the ones that end up abusing women the most, right? Mr. Consent Destiny is the one who recorded women without their consent and sent their videos off to other women without their consent. Fucking gooning ass Dan Clancy, spineless CEO bitch, whose job it is to oversee Twitch and therefore protect everyone at Twitchcon, was apparently not even doing his job. He was just attending parties held by content creators. I think what's going on with that little weasel fuck is I'm a little mad if you can't tell. No one ever liked him growing up. I think he was just a pointless, spineless loser, and everybody realized it, so he was never included. But now that he's the CEO of this company, he's using his position to force himself onto people. And I think that's just disgusting behavior, you know? Because especially while he's doing that, he is absolutely neglecting his duties as CEO, right? I think he said one of his favorite pastimes is gooning the extra Emily or something like that. And it's just, why is that man even leading this company? So I'm getting off topic. Not really, but I'm just, all these things are things I've been analyzing for months or even years at this point. So I just see all these different intricate webs that connect, and I don't know how to exactly put it all into one nice, neat, laid out format. Here's the thing. Emmy made a really good point in her video. Again, I highly suggest you go watch it, get it directly from the source. She said the only reason Twitch is even saying anything about this is because there's video of it happening. And the only reason there's video of it happening is because she's such a big streamer that everyone was there and multiple people had their phones out and someone went and posted it. And huge props to whoever went and posted that, because we can't stay silent about this kind of stuff. I think there is an epidemic of rape culture in the country, not only against women, but also against men. In some ways, I think it's worse against men because it's almost seen as okay to some extent, right? Nobody, myself included, because I don't think I really even knew about it, mentioned the two dudes that were sexually assaulted at Twitchcon last year. I don't know if it was women that did that or if it were other guys, but regardless, sexual assault against anyone is not okay. It's not acceptable. In my opinion, rape and sexual assault to a lesser degree are two of the worst, most atrocious crimes anyone can ever commit against another person. I think the only thing that's worse than that is slavery. And slavery often includes those two things as part of it, right? I think it's absolutely worse than murder. And the reason why is because at least the murder victim is free. You know, a sexual assault survivor doesn't really just get to move on. It's something that you'll have to carry with you for the rest of your life, however long that is. And a lot of people can't carry it, so they end up taking their own lives. Just look at the masseuse, the massage therapist that was at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago thing, whatever that is, country club. I don't know exactly what it is. And I think her name, it begins with a V. I'm not specific about what her name is, though. I'm not great with names at all. Like, I can't even figure out Emmy's actual creator name, you know? But the point is, that young woman took her own life because Epstein abused the shit out of her and basically for years got away with it. And then even once he was held accountable, at least in the process of being held accountable, it just became, there was so, I don't know the specific timeline, but the actual act of confronting your abuser is oftentimes way more painful than the abuse itself. But if you don't confront your abuser and what they did to you, then it's just going to keep wounding you endlessly forever. And some people see the only way out as taking their own life. This, if you don't understand, is why so many people, so many women said they would rather be alone in the woods with a bear than alone in the woods with a man. Because even if the bear mauls you and you survive the bear attack, there's just like a different level of shame that you feel when someone tries to sexually assault you. It's way different than getting your life, like getting the shit beat out of you, you know? When I was younger in middle school, I used to get bullied a lot. Some of the kids in my class, but particularly the kids in the older class directly above mine, would bully me a lot, and a couple of them even physically hit me. And you know what? I'd rather go through all of that again than ever be sexually assaulted by another woman, simply because it was easier to deal with, you know? Just for whatever reason, like, you feel defiled and worthless afterwards. And somehow you feel like it's your fault in a way. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what it feels like, you know? Whereas when you're just getting bullied, or if like someone gets drunk and attacks you in a parking lot, yeah, there's like you kind of feel bad afterwards, especially if you fought back and won, and especially if it was a friend. Yeah, I'm talking about another specific situation, but it's one of those things where you don't really feel responsible. You know, it's more of like a FAFO situation, or it's like okay, I made it through that situation, but for whatever reason, at least in my experiences, when it comes to sexual assault, you just keep playing that shit over in your head in a different way and wonder what you did wrong. I don't know why. It's just a very, very different, far more traumatizing situation. The fact that Twitch has let it happen consistently multiple times, and rather than protecting her, even went so far as to tell her that she's not allowed to bring the guy that protected her from it last time back. That's just evil as fuck, you know? And I really can't tolerate any of this anymore. I was so quiet about my the times I was sexually assaulted for so long is because I didn't want this to be the hill I was going to die on. You know, I want my content to be about other stuff, about uplifting people, and about enlightenment, and just how to make the world a better place. But I also feel like you can't make the world a better place if you're just ignoring the problems with it. And because of my specific history surviving this kind of shit, when I see it from now on, I'm gonna do a lot more to speak out about it. I know not many people are really listening, but there's a couple of you out there that are. And if this helps even one of you, then I've accomplished my goal, you know? So all this boils down to, again, none of these corporations care about you at all. They just want to use you as cattle for profit. And the more agency they can strip from you, the less able you are to defend and protect yourself, the more desperate and vulnerable they make you feel, the easier it is for them to manipulate and control you. So I personally don't really go anywhere I can't carry my firearm with me, with one exception being the occasional concert or large sporting event with my family. But those generally have pretty damn good security to begin with. Now, I'll probably stop going eventually, but there's a thing in my head where I don't know how many years my parents have left. And even though I have absolutely wonderful parents who have made tremendous sacrifices for me, I am the type of person that's always gone against the grain, so to speak. So, needless to say, there were many years where my relationship with them wasn't great. And really, the only reason that I make this small sacrifice for my safety is because I don't know how much time I have left with them. And especially when you see things like Asmund Gold's parents, or like lots of people my age. I have one of my best friends that I grew up on the same block as lost his dad a couple years ago. It's just one of those things where I don't know how much time I have left with them. So the way I look at it is it's always a cost-benefit analysis. Is dying worth spending one more night with my parents? Yes. Is dying worth going to TwitchCon? No, absolutely not. Right? So that's where I draw the line. Is my death worth this? And the answer 99.9% of the time is no. And you need to acknowledge that if someone isn't allowing you to protect yourself, then they are putting you in harm's way, usually just for profit's sake at this point. So, get armed, get trained, and remain vigilant, because I feel like things are just getting worse, right? I do my best to be optimistic, but blind optimism is more dangerous than perhaps anything else. I want to believe that the world is getting better, but based off of how few people are actually listening and paying attention, and how many people are just falling into the right-wing brain dead mentality or the left-wing brain dead mentality, and allowing them to divide and conquer, which is the second oldest trick in the book, by the way, I don't think things are going to get better. In fact, I feel like very soon we're going to see things get very bad very quickly. And even if most people don't notice right away, it's going to be one of those scenarios where by the time they do notice, it's too late to do anything about it. So, in addition to arming yourself and getting trained, I highly suggest that you start collecting bottled water and non-perishable foods. If you're not in an area where you can just go outside and get firewood, make sure, especially if you're in a cold climate, make sure you have a way to stay warm during the winter, because most people don't know this, but if just look at Texas, right? Look at how many people were in trouble there when they got a freak snowstorm. If the United States power grid and infrastructure goes down, it's estimated that 80 to 90% of the population would die in the first winter. Let that sink in. Think of the 10 people you love most, right? They'll all be gone. Every single one of them. And you'll be stuck living without them. Or you die and one of them gets to survive. That's the type of unfortunate future we're heading towards. And I'm doing everything I can to steer us away from that, but I don't know if there's actually anything I can do to prevent it. I'm gonna keep warning people and keep developing new ways to try and reach out. We're almost ready to start working on music. That's kind of what I was originally going to talk about today, was the plan moving forward, but I needed to talk about this instead. So, assuming nothing crazier happened at TwitchCon today, because it's Sunday, and I think TwitchCon's still going on today unless they canceled everything, which seems unlikely because then it would cut into their profit margins. We'll talk about the plan moving forward now that we're done with the streamathon tomorrow, okay? So I'm gonna go upload this. I've got a few things I want to do around the house before I get started with the stream, but then I'm gonna go live. We're gonna have dinner, talk about some YouTube videos. Who knows, maybe there's more about this topic, but I feel like I've said everything I really need to say. So unless someone in chat wants me to specifically react to a certain video, we're gonna see if we can find other things to watch while I eat dinner. And then we're gonna work on some Warframe a bit. We're getting pretty close to having everything done in that game. Everything I want done in that game done. That I'm setting that up to be my primary community game for all of us to play as a group. Trying to get as many people in my friend circle and in my content community to download it as possible. Doing my best to resurrect the clan. It's so close. It's stuck at rank 9 because we've done everything we need to ascend to rank 10, but I can't get enough people to log in to do the ascension ceremony. So I'm rambling. I'm tired. My soul is tired in a way that sleep doesn't heal. But I'm not going to give up. I almost did once, but I need to thank Poppy for her music because she reminded me the cost of giving up. So I don't care. Like, that's why I'm still making all this content, right? I really wanted to just go back to living a quiet life and try my best to be a simple man, like in the song. But that's not me. I know it's not me. I know it's not what I was meant to do while I was put on this earth. So I'm going to keep pushing until I either break through or it kills me. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side. That's what that really meant when that was my sign off, right? Was yeah, I'm pretty sure this is gonna kill me, so I'll see you on the other side when you meet me there, type thing. But you know, I'm doing my best to find that little silver lining in all the gray clouds. It's called hope. So that's why I changed my outro too. I love all of you, and God bless America.